All right, hello everybody. This is Magic Underwood, and I'm here with another podcast with my boy here, Dorion.
Uh,
What's all right? So first off, is y'all are wondering why am I in my car? So what happened is that my laptop ran into some troubles, and like it's gonna be like this for a while. So that's the sad part. But our topic today, we're gonna talk a bit about fighting games, how we got into it, and how what 2020 looked like, and and pretty much like what would it look like looking forward.
yeah.
So tell us, Dorian, how'd you start with fighting games?
Well, I guess to go way back, it all started with this little game called Street Fighter 2. And I know this is on video podcast, I have a visual copy of my Sega Genesis cartridge of Street Fighter 2. I don't know if you can see.
No,
So
the actual Street Fighter 2, not any other addition to it, not Championship Edition or Turbo or all that good stuff.
this one is Special Championship Edition. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They do have regular mode, but you can also play in Championship Edition. But I got the one I first played was for the Sega Genesis, as I played up. I really played with my dad, and I was like kind of my introduction to first fighting games. As you see, as we talk this podcast, I have a very deep love and respect for fighting games. But I guess it kind of like goes back to also like I used to when Blockbuster and Hollywood Video was a thing, my mom would always like take us to video games to go rent video games and stuff, and she would always do like, well, you can she would always want us to get like two-player games, otherwise we have to get like two games like for one person. So a lot of times me and my sister would end up like getting fighting games like Tekken. We're really into, which I know we'll talk about as the podcast progresses. But that's kind of like how I got into fighting games because like playing Street Fighter 2 with my dad at a young age, and then playing I just see I talk about all these fighting games with my sister all the time. But I think Tekken was the one we played the most. We played everything. We played Street Fighter. We played Mortal Kombat. We played Soul Calibur. But we'll get to that. That's just kind of like I wanted to give like a brief introduction of like kind of how I got into them. I don't know what your relationship is with for fighting games, like where it started or goes.
Oh, pretty much. I started with Mortal Kombat. Like me and a lot of my family, my uncles, my uncles, my cousins, we all played Mortal. When we all got together, we played Mortal Kombat a whole lot. So, and from there, I personally really liked fighting games, as a gameplay wise, and I made that transition into Street Fighter, and then just continued on from there. I had mostly became endowed into it. Um and
Yeah,
then pretty much like just went on from there. Like Smash Bros is when I started really getting big into fighting games.
yeah,
Um and that's where like everything just like started really taking off as soon as Smash Bros started coming out.
yeah. Smash Bros was definitely a big one too, which we'll get to. Because I know, like for me, I did play 64, and then when Melee came out was such huge, and now years later, I guess as I showed us, we have it for the Switch, and just continues and keep like adding more and more characters. I know they tried to do it with for PlayStation's Battle Royale, which we talked about, but just
Honestly, that game's pretty underrated. It's
yeah,
not a complete rip off of Smash Bros, it but the problem was that it looked too much like Smash Bros. That
yeah,
was the biggest problem with that game.
yeah. I just watched you know I, we don't have no connection to it, but like Matt McMuscle's What Happened to see, PlayStation All Stars, and he has some interesting insight of it because there's like a thousands of Power Stone clones or similar to like Smash. But I guess
Oh
we'll
yeah, I do remember the Power Stone clones. Oh my god, there was a lot of them,
oh
and they were mostly licensed games that were doing that were Power Stone clones.
yeah. But I guess what we're really focused on this podcast. I mean, those are like adepts of fighting games. Like I know Smash is kind of you could argue as a party game, but I know people do play it competitively.
All right, yeah. So the whole thing with Smash, like there's like a and I think it's from the beginning where there's like a massive disconnect between the Smash community and the rest of the FGC. Whereas the FGC was like really tribal, They were like really, really tribal. They like, you have your Tekken guys, you have your Street Fighter guys, you have your Mortal Kombat guys, you have your King of Fighters guys, you have your you have this, that, you have your Arc Sys guys. And the one thing they all band together about is how much they hate Smash players.
I mean, I think that's just like fighting game communities in general. And full disclosure, like I guess I am we would call a filthy casual or basement king, because I okay, allow me to explain if anyone doesn't know what basement king is. A basement king is when you beat everyone in your basement in your house and all your friends and everyone online, and then as soon as you go to an actual tournament, you get blown up. Because that would happen to me in Mortal Kombat. I went to
well,
I went to
well, you know,
go on.
it kind of happens to everybody. We're like, yeah, you're like top dog in the neighborhood,
Right?
but the moment you get to a major tournament, you just get the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah. That's basically what happened. Like I went to 2 Mortal Kombat tournaments in my whole life, and I thought I was good at Mortal Kombat. Like I didn't do bad the first tournament, and then I went to a tournament recently, and man, I just got blew up. I beat at least the guy I knew, but I got like demolished by like everyone else. I was like, wow, the competition is up a game. I was like, I guess I can't do Mortal Kombat.
Well, here's the thing with fighting games. They're not easy. They're not.
Shit.
None of them are. Well, there's a few of them that are, and they'll try to teach you like have you heard of what's that game called? Fantasy Strike, where it actually teaches you like the bare basics, like bare basic mechanics of a fighting game, where it's like, okay, yes, it's really easy to do all these things, but here's how it works. Here's how frame data works. Here's how these mechanics that you need to know about fighting games and how to get good with them. Here's how it works.
I don't think I've heard of that. I'd have to check it out. Like I know the understandings of fighting games, but I know Mortal Kombat is a speed thing. It really depends on how fast you do your reflexes. So
Not so much 11. Not so much 11. 11, they went out of their way to make it equally as defensive as it is offensive. Yeah, combos are still important, but they're not as important.
I don't know. Like the tournament I got blew up was at MK11 tournament, but I swear to God, this guy was going. He was playing as a Fujin, I lost to, and he was going like so fast, and I was like, but I was playing against him with a katana, so it's like I don't know, maybe it was a filthy casual, but like I've never like I guess really been too competitive. I just as I saw my collection as we progress with this podcast, I have played like a lot of fighting games, and I just love to play them, but on a competitive level, I guess I'm not really there. But I guess we'll dive more deep into that.
I mean, eventually you'll get there. Eventually you'll probably get there. It's
not with Mortal Kombat.
Look, if you're sucking at Mortal Kombat, once you get into stuff like Street Fighter or any of the Arc Sys games, you're gonna run into some problems competitively.
Well, that's what I was like. Again, I was like, I do great online and on Mortal Kombat, but there's always that one scumbag Scorpion player, and I just like I got.
Oh yeah, no, oh god, oh my god, that's like my gripe with Mortal Kombat is you're always going to see a Scorpion.
Yeah.
He's always going to be there. He's always going to like turn around, and you're always going to, and Scorpion's going to rear its ugly head, and you're just like, man, I'm tired of fighting all these Scorpions, doing the same crap, teleporting all the time, doing these like 50 games, which 50-50 pretty much means or the blender or the vortex, where it's like, hey man, you got to really guess correctly where you're blocking and how you're blocking, or you're going to get hurt. And it just drives me off the wall.
Yeah, I definitely get that to an extent. But so what do you want to start off with, like, or do you just want to progress through it, like, what as far as fighting games?
How'd you feel about 2020 and fighting games?
Well, 2020 was the year of COVID, so that definitely affected a lot of tournaments, and they had to cancel them, and like the whole online thing. But this was also the first year. We'll get to Evo and everything else in a second. But this was also the first year that the Japan community came together with fighting games.
Oh yeah, Yeah, that was actually a beautiful thing where a lot of the Japanese companies, and the biggest gripe about Japanese games themselves were, hey, your netcode might be good in Japan and Korea, but it sucks everywhere
Yeah,
else.
and they said they're working on.
And they acknowledged that, and they're like, okay, we're going to make our netcode better. And I think the one company that is the best at doing it so far is Arxis, actually, in their games, like their Guilty Gear and their and and I think that a lot of other their games, they like changed the netcode and it's gotten better.
Yeah,
Whereas with Capcom, where they changed the netcode and somehow it got worse. I'm just like, how'd you do this? Like, if you have to hire an American to do your networking, please do that.
yeah. So like, I know that was definitely a big thing as far as like fighting game communities. Do you want to talk about the Evo controversy?
Oh God.
Getting right into it.
So as we said in our previous podcast, the speaking out movement, aka Me Too Part 2, did not just hit
Evo.
did not just did not just hit the pro wrestling community. It hit the video game community, most so the FGC.
Yeah, basically they
Now,
Evo.
it, it basically shut down, it canceled and shut down Evo, like, and we don't know what's going to be that next super big fighting game tournament. We don't know. It could be CEO, because I think Alex Jabali's a really good man, and and he's actually really awesome, and he's willing to try out new things. I we don't know what's the next what's going to be the next big tournament scene. Um, I also believe that most the type of player that has affected most of everybody are Smash players, because it turns out a lot of them can, oh, you can put that down, a lot of them can, like Smash players, a lot of them have been pretty much doing really, really, I don't look. I'm just gonna tell people to just look it up on that controversy, particularly with Smash players, and it affected a lot of their tip top players as well. And it was so bad that Nintendo actually was shocked and horrified, and they had actually made a statement about it themselves. And I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to count, and I'm pretty sure the next Smash Bros game is going to be extra casual. I'm pretty sure they're going to stick out both middle fingers to their competitive audience. It's already bad enough, and it's already like pulling teeth that Nintendo don't even want to support the competitive environment of Smash.
Yeah.
But now it's like, yeah, they now have like a deeper reason on why they don't want to the support the competitive audience for Smash.
Yeah. We're definitely.
And now on top of that, remember when I told you that the rest of the FGC kind of hates Smash kind of hates Smash players?
Yeah.
Now it's really justified why they hate Smash. Now it goes from them hating Smash players for certain reasons to now them having a real reason why they don't like Smash players.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely get that, and we'll just see how it progresses going forward. What they do as far as the Smash game community. But yeah, it definitely was not didn't look good on that that fandom.
No, and now my whole thing with Smash Bros is that multiple times Sakurai himself, and it seems like he's trying to bring the olive branch to the rest of the FGC
Yeah.
by giving them characters like Ryu or Terry.
Yeah.
But the reactions of the Smash Bros players they weren't really appalling. I wasn't really surprised about it, but it wasn't necessarily good.
Yeah.
uh and on top of this, like, I can't remember everything. All right, let's go ahead and continue on.
Okay, but yeah, that was definitely a big thing. As far as like trailers, what are you most excited coming in for 2021 and fighting?
Oh, oh man, all I could do is speculate because the only two things that has been shown is Guilty Gear Strive, which I'm actually really excited for. They're finally dummying down Guilty Gear.
Mhm.
They're finally dummying down Guilty Gear, which I'm actually really happy about. Um Another game I'm kind of looking at, but I'm a little skeptical now, but that's just because of how it's presented is King of Fighters 15.
Yes.
I'm a little skeptical.
What makes you skeptical about it?
Not just because of how it's presented.
Okay. I mean, they released, I forget his name, the sleepy kid with the gray hair.
Minute nights and I can't pronounce that name. It's
But his trailer was a lot better because they showed more. It wasn't like the trailer like the other his other friend. I forget. I don't know what their names either. I know like Terry. I know I know like the originals, Andy and everybody. But speaking of King of Fighters, we'll get to them. But
oh god, I love King of Fighters, but you know it's only popular in 2 regions.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, no shit. But like,
and you can pretty much figure out which 2 regions it's popular in.
Yeah, I know with the second trailer released for King of Fighters, it did get improved better because they showed more and everything. But we still don't know too much. Like I really want because Sylvia was my main from the last one. From the yeah,
you like Trash Chan?
she's waifu material. Screw you, man. You know.
No. You like a girl who likes to dress in a not a burlap sack, a potato sack.
She's an idol. She's an idol. So shut your filthy whore mouth.
An idol made of trash.
She's the best idol girl.
She literally dives into a trash can and and that's her outfit. It's okay though. You know that term, your waifu is trash? She's literally trash.
She's best waifu. If you're not playing Arcana Heart, I'm not Arcana Hearts. SNK Heroines.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Her outfit's literally her in a potato sack. That's it.
I believe it's called a towel.
No, it's a blue potato sack. Because that's an indicative of how poor she is.
I like your opinion, man. But I
know. I just gotta mess with you on that.
No, I really do because she was like my main in a 14. So I really am excited to see if we get her.
I actually want to see her. To be honest, jokes aside, I actually want to see her in that game as well. I know one character that's definitely coming back is Ash Crimson, and I hate that character so much. I hate him so much.
I guess we can, as I get my notes, my bad. We can get into it, like as far as who we know is coming out for King of Fighters before we get to other stuff. We know the main character, Kai.
Kyo
and Yuri are gonna be in it. So we know they're in it. We don't know too much. We just know like okay, a lot of the original core story characters are gonna be. But like you said, they haven't shown too much. So we have to see what they show like going forward.
I would like to also see Nakaruru come back.
Pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna. I know a lot of people would like Blue Mary to come back and not as DLC. So that'll be interesting if they do that.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the
also,
virtual? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you hear about like Virtual Fighter might come back, but we don't know as what?
Retro Fighter.
Virtual Fighter. Have you ever played Virtual
Fighter? Oh yeah, they've been talking about that. They want a tournament scene on Virtual Fighter 5 again. It would be pretty cool. I think it'd be better than DOA because here's the thing though. And here's my whole DOA is actually a really fun game. It's definitely not for kids.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely not tournament friendly, but the thing was that they tried so hard to make DOA for tournaments. They're trying to take it seriously. They're trying every single game, 5 and 6 especially. They're just like, look, we're going to try our hardest to make it, be taken serious as a competitive game. And I called it as soon as DOA 6 was announced. It's like, yeah, they're literally going to lose their spot to Mortal Kombat in their Evo slot. And guess what happened? They lost their slot to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. DOA is a different subject, but I am, as you can see, a DOA player. But yeah, I know kids do play it, but I cannot. It was the year where they had those like horrible micro transactions where like you had to pay to change the color of the hair and all kinds.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, it's not as bad as DOA 5 where you had to pay like hundreds of dollars. No, literal hundreds of dollars for a skin pack that you could pay like say in Street Fighter or in any other game where it costed like maybe $30, maybe $40, usually around 25.
Yeah. Playing both of them, gameplay is still DOA 6 pretty fun. But as far as like that, DOA 6 is not much better. It's the same thing. I was like, but because they're just so weird.
I know. At some point, they're just like, screw it. We're not beating Mortal.
Yeah.
We're not going to get that slot in Evo. Let's just go back to ass and titties.
But it definitely is a good game. Maybe eventually we'll get Virtual Fighter. I know
Virtual Fighter's really cool.
Yeah. They got Jackie. I mean, because they have Virtual Fighters in DOA 5, like Jackie and Sarah,
and
Akira and Lang Fei.
And they also brought back King of Fighters characters in DOA. Then not only did they had Mai in there, they had Kula in there as well.
Who else is in there?
Kula. She's a King of Fighters character.
You're right. Kula is in DOA 6. You're right. I forgot about that. I'm pretty sure Kula is going to be in the new King of Fighters too, because she's a popular character.
Yeah, she is a popular character.
Pretty sure her and Athena. I think we've seen Athena.
The one character I want to come back is Momoko from she was in one of the King of Fighters games. I think but she was like a Capio era girl.
Yeah.
But like her super move was like a giant Kamehameha wave. So I was like, man, this is really cool. But like her moveset was pretty much chain combo all day long.
Yeah, we shall see. I know also, before I get to what's upcoming for the next year, there was also Samurai Showdown. That was
I know one of the characters. Okay, so here's the thing though. They don't even try to balance Samurai Showdown. That's fine though. That's actually really that's really fine though. Like that's fine though with Samurai Showdown. Because like the whole thing about Samurai Showdown, it's not about really comboing. It's Samurai Showdown is about playing footsies, playing a lot of mind games, countering your opponent and doing a billion damage with that counter.
Counter is big. Yeah, you can win games with 2 blows. It's ridiculous. You play at a competitive level.
You're just like, I got countered. Where the hell did my health bar go? Where the hell?
But I know it was really big this year because we haven't had Samurai Showdown game like forever. I have a bunch of like their vinyl soundtracks. I get shut off some other time, but and it was weird because Harang is also in Soul Calibur 6, which I have.
Oh no! You're talking about Hal Hamaru.
My bad. Yeah. So he's in. That was kind of interesting because Soul Calibur loves it.
I kind of like the dynamic between Hal Hamaru and Mitsurugi, where Hal Hamaru is kind of a thug samurai.
Yeah.
And fucking Mitsurugi is kind of like that honorable samurai.
Yeah, I definitely get that.
I love that dynamic. And I kind of did like Soul Calibur as well. I just kind of fell out of flavor of it in favor of like Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5 lately because season 5 is going to be amazing.
What are you excited for in season Street Fighter season 5? Is it the fact that we're gonna a battle? What's the face from Battle Club? Not Battle Club. What is that?
I'm most excited for Akira. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's gonna be the character I'm looking at. Not so much Dan or anybody else, but Akira, yes, she's gonna be. I'm not gonna main her, but she does have a really cool outfit when she was in Project Justice. But yeah.
I guess I can talk
But yeah,
about.
I'm most excited about it because of the buffs to Laura.
Yeah.
Laura's my main, my go-to, and the fact that you can cancel your special elbow dash
Yeah.
into a super, that's where I'm just like, oh yes, please sign me up.
Yeah. I totally get that. Actually, like, hold that thought. Keep talking because I'm trying to showcase for that. Because
Um, yeah. So for Tekken, I'm actually really happy about is becoming less and less like the Yu-Gi-Oh fighting games where you just combo till your opponent's dead. And it's like, oh yeah, if I drop the combo, I died. Get good with Geese or Akuma in Tekken 7. It's just, and that was pretty much the story. Or Leroy or fuck you, Rom.
yeah. So like I know my beef. Like, don't get me wrong, because as you can see, I was a big Street Fighter person too. But I really thought like 4 was so good, and like, don't get me wrong, I got also signed by Chuck Huber. I know you can't say he does the voice of Ryu. He's in a couple other stuff.
Ooh,
I know it's hard to see.
ooh, that's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I did not like 4, surprisingly. I did not. I tried to, like, at first I liked 4 and I tried to like continue on with it, but the problem was that it became like incredibly degenerate towards the end of it.
That makes sense. I can understand it. But for me, like, don't get me wrong. I bought like Street Fighter 5, also signed by Chuck Huber, the voice of Ryu from Street Fighter, or Ryu. I got the disc in there and everything. But I just like fell off because it came so tournament scene, and like I play other fighting games like more casual. There was also the disaster.
Well, yeah, that was like my biggest problem with Street Fighter 5
Yeah.
from like seasons 2 all the way to season 4, all the way to like towards the beginning of season 4. It's just they just sat there and mostly catered to esports.
Yeah.
That's all they did. And I was like, geez, come on, guys, really, you're going to do this? Come on, man. What about the casual players? You're just catering to the competitive players. Not gonna lie though, Street Fighter 5 for that time was more fun to watch than it was to play.
Yeah.
But now that towards the end of season 4 going into season 5, it's actually been really fun to play.
Yeah. I definitely get that. There was also the disaster. I also got signed by Chuck Huber. The disaster of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Remember this?
Honestly, though, like I've seen Maximilian Dude like go back to it every once in a while. I don't see it to be that bad, but
Have you played it?
played it a few times.
Okay.
I kind of did enjoy Pac-Man and Bad Box Art Mega Man. Just that's personally.
Okay, I guess that's fair. I mean, we can always talk about that some other time. But so like as far as mains in Street Fighter for like Street Fighter 5, I was also, because I had to pick up a figure. I was always a big Chun-Li character. She was my main, and then Armika. There's a couple others, like Cammy's pretty good. I used to have like a Cammy figure somewhere. I'd have to look for it. But and I always like from Dark. I don't have Dark Strikers physical copy because they just never continued. But I was always a big.
Oh God, I would kill so hard to see a sequel to Darkstalkers. That for the longest time, that was my main fighting game.
Yeah.
Because I just loved it that much. It was it was incredibly fast paced.
Yeah.
It introduced stuff like introducing a lot of the really crazy advanced fighting game stuff that you see today, like advancing guards, what else? Not so much parries, but
Yeah.
Super combos. Like it just like blew my mind how amazing Darkstalkers was.
Yeah. It also has some of the cooler like artwork and like visual like.
Yeah, the visuals and the artwork were top notch.
Yeah. Here's my Cammy
And
for those people.
huh?
Here's my Cammy figure, as you can see. Hopefully you don't get flat. Yeah. But yeah. So I know those were like big of my mains and like my reasons with Street Fighter and everything. But I guess like for before I get to like kind of my end, I know we're still like in the middle because we got a lot to talk about. But I know what's coming out for next year as far as games. There's always rumors of Tekken and Street Fighter. We really don't know. Here's that League of Legends fighting game that's supposed to be coming out eventually.
I don't know when it's coming out, but I'm actually interested to see that. It is really cool that Riot Games themselves has kind of branched themselves out of just League of Legends and just gotten themselves into more fighting games.
Yeah.
Or getting themselves into more games. Like they got Legends of Runeterra, which is a card game, which is similar to Hearthstone.
Yeah.
They got Valorant, which is a first-person shooter. It's kind of a Twitch. It's kind of like somewhere in between like an Overwatch style shooter and a Twitch shooter.
Yeah.
And of course we could talk, and I could talk about League of Legends and my problems with that game, the things I really love and hated about that game, because I've been playing that game for a very long time. Like I think I've been playing it since beta, so that'd be about 11 years now playing League of Legends. So
yeah, so it's definitely pretty interesting to see as far as what they're gonna do with it going forward. But
yeah. Dungeon Fighter's gonna have a fighting game. It's gonna be made by ArcSys.
Is it now Dungeon Fighter?
Yes.
What's that?
Huh? Dungeon Fighter's an MMO.
MMO.
But yeah, but they're having like select characters from that MMO to be in a fighting game.
Huh.
It looks like an ArcSys game, so it looks really stunning and beautiful. Like you got to check it out. You got to check it out.
I'll do that. I know that one of the big ones also that's coming out is outside of Guilty Gear. I was trying to find my Guilty Gear copies.
Yeah, Guilty Gear Strive. I'm actually super excited for. I'm gonna learn how to get good with Ramlethal.
You're gonna have good luck.
I know. She was like ultra hard to play as in Xrd. So
I was always good with May, EO, obviously Axo, and Eddie or Zato. Those are kind of like
May
and Dizzy.
You mean smash your fist on the gamepad the character.
He's Guilty Gear Chun-Li. It's like
no, she ain't. Chun-Li requires skill. May requires you to smash the beat your joystick until you automatically do like 40 hit combos.
Whatever you got.
I mean, I'm just joking with you, dude.
Yeah. But they also have Arc System is also outside of DBZ fighters. Obviously, that'll keep always continuing. But they're gonna do that new game, the DNF Duel. It's like a whole new game.
No, that's the Dungeon Fighter. That's the Dungeon Fighter one.
Okay, yeah, that's what you're talking about. I was like, so that looks pretty interesting. I definitely want to play that. I didn't know that was based off of RPG or anything. Like Grand Blue, which I have a physical copy of too. What's RPG?
Oh God, you know what? I was skeptical about Grand Blue until they released this character named Yoel.
Yeah.
And I fell attached to her. And then I found out that Grand Blue Fantasy had this cat boy who was kind of a F boy. And I was like, man, he's kind of cool. He brings his buddies in and he's just really fun to play as.
Yeah. But any other thoughts on fighting games?
Oh man, there's a lot of them. There's a few incidents I would really love to talk about. Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a few incidents that I would really love to talk about. One of which in 2020. So there's this pro gamer. Have you heard of who Leffen is? He's a professional. He is a professional Smash player.
Okay.
So throughout 2020, he decided to get into Tekken. and his whole mindset was, okay, Smash is the hardest fighting game, which is not true.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
which is not true at all. Like he learned, and I
yeah.
think he learned the hard way why that is not true.
Yeah. I would
Like, cause
Street Fighter's probably the
he got
hardest.
to like, huh?
I would say Street Fighter is probably the hardest one.
Which one? If you're talking about Street Fighter 3, yes, it's the hardest fighting game ever.
It's also the most fun. I was thinking more so.
It is the most fun fighting game ever. Street Fighter 3.
I know 4 and 5 is very challenging. And then
Five is actually I actually find 5 a lot of forgiving because if you mess up or drop something, you don't get punished as hard for it.
that is true.
4, on the other hand, yeah, you mess up, you dead. You might as well just put the controller down.
Definitely true. That I'd have to go back and play them. But go on with what you were saying.
All right, so there's this Smash player, his professional Smash player by the name of Leffen. Keep in mind, he was hated in the Smash community itself. So he decided to play Tekken. And his whole mindset was, okay, Smash is a harder game than Tekken, which is not true. It's not true at all. Like Tekken is a far harder game than Smash because there's a lot of even though like the buttons are really simple, there's a lot of things about Tekken that you really need to know about, like KBDs, wall combos, when and where to do certain things. And he got to like a good mid rank, and then he just started getting smashed. He just started getting destroyed.
Yeah.
And then he went on YouTube and Twitter and just started complaining nonstop. He wind up a storm. And then the Tekken players like just kind of dogged him all day and night.
Yeah.
And then he was crying about how Tekken players were not welcoming and they're not, they're not this and they're not that. And I'm like, dude, when you throw shade at the game, you're going to get thrown shade back at you. That's just how it is. Yeah. And that didn't really end there. The saddest part about it is that the ball was really on his court because Leffen's a member of TSM.
Yeah.
And if TSM wanted to invest into a game, and they said Tekken, and so Leffen's gonna show up and be like, "Hey man, the community of Tekken freaking sucks. I've had a bad experience with it. It's not worth it." And that's the unfortunate part about that. Even though Tekken in reality is actually one of the most welcoming communities because they know how hard that game is.
Yeah.
And it's sad too because they're supposed to dummy down Tekken from Tekken 6 to Tekken 7. They didn't do that. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
They didn't dummy that game down at all. No, they made it even harder. They were just like, I was just like, oh man. Yeah. And it's in my opinion. Yeah, and I'm just sitting here, I'm just like, what? A lot of players did receive a ban. But that we could talk about the competitive scene all day and night, but
yeah.
I'll just put you right here. Like, who's your favorite pro player?
I will, like I said, I really don't follow pro players in competitive gaming. Like I said, I guess I'm a filthy casual because I just play more fun. I would like because to play competitive, but I just haven't been that many tournaments, So
so pretty much there's like no, you don't really have a favorite professional player you would like to follow.
Yeah, no, I was like, because I find and I do follow the Video Games crew because I know, but they're all foreigners.
Oh, with Maximilian?
Yes.
Yeah, that dude's amazing. He's like a guru.
Yeah.
In fighting games, and he'll lay down the insight.
Yeah. And
another YouTuber I'd say you should follow, and it'll make you appreciate fighting game lore a lot more, is the Fighter's Den. Because the one complaint that people say that's like, hey man, fighting game lore sucks. It's terrible. It's filled with holes. But in reality, the Fighter's Den's like, look, and the way he presents it, it's like, look, it's not presented as if it's an actual storyline.
Yeah.
Think of it, it's more like how professional wrestling does storylines, especially with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
I guess there's a little bit of truth to that. I mean, they always turn back the clock and restart everything. So one thing they haven't really done that for is a Street Fighter and Kino Fighters. But they tend to like. I'm also. Well, I know we're not wrapping up, but as I get to like end piece, um, I'm also a big anime fighter, dude. Like I love me some Fist of the North Star, the fighting game, but I don't actually own it.
Oh man, I want it to be like the old Fist of the North Star fighting games.
Yeah,
Also JoJo's too, like the old ones.
and I'm
Like
not.
back when Capcom took the helm of those games, and I was just
Like,
like,
yeah.
hell yeah. I
I
don't know if they
have
did Fist of the North.
I have
I
no.
don't know if they did Fist of the North Star, but I know they did JoJo.
Yes, they
And
did
when
do
they did
Fist of the North.
JoJo, it was amazing.
Yeah, they did Fist of the North Star first, obviously because it came first and it's inspiration for JoJo. I know we
Yeah.
talked about that off podcast, but that one's pretty fun. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of more of a Fist of North Star than JoJo fan, but I digress. But as far as anime fighting games, and I played a lot of weird ones. I've played fun, Battle Strangers, which was a great, game. It has like Shovel Knight.
I have never. Oh, Blade Strange. Oh, I remember that game now. That has all the
Yeah.
all those weird characters in it. I remember that now. I've played it a few times. I actually have it on Steam.
Oh wow, I would love to play against you. I don't have a PS4.
I don't know. I forgot how to play that game though. Like I would main as forgot her name. The chick from Senran Kagura who has the 6 swords.
That is a different game. That is Nitro Blaster.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I would main as Super Sonica. Now I'm not going to show them, but I have tons of Super Sonica figures. But there's also big.
Probably all lewd.
I will loot up this podcast right now. But I don't have a cover for it. But and also and I people reference this at convention, but Aqua Plaza, the anime fighter.
That one I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, there's also Arcana Hearts, which I used to have. But the one that's not really anime fighter, but I feel like one of the best fighting games ever. And I'm probably gonna get some beef for that as I look for the physical copy of it, which is I'm missing like a bunch of fighting games. Well, I have. Where did y'all go? But
all right. So what is the game called?
Oh, there it is. It is Skullgirls.
Oh, Skullgirls.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing though. Skullgirls is really, really, really. I personally like the game. I kind of separate the artist from the game because that incident.
What incident?
He was involved with that. He got me too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I know.
Yeah, no, he was involved with that whole speaking out thing.
Oh wow.
So I tend to separate the artist from the actual art with that one.
Sense, yeah.
And especially since they added in the Japanese voice acting, which was way better than the American voice acting.
I do like the American ones because, like I said, I don't like to read subtitles all the time, and I like to support.
Look, here's the thing though. Have you heard of the voice actors for Miss Fortune, Kim Letran?
I would have to look it up. I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So she's the voice actors for her and Robo Fortune. And I'm just like, oh my God, please.
Well, like I know for Robo, like the RoboCat girl, I know that's kind of has to be the joke because it's like she's like a robotic. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't mind it too much, but that's just my personal take.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my God, please stop. Shut up. Oh my God, please stop. Oh my, please stop. You're annoying. Oh my God, please stop.
Yeah. But the only other, obviously, well, I don't have it, but I know Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's a close tie between that and Street Fighter 3, like which is the best fighting game of all time.
I would like to say Street Fighter 3, but then again, both games are like really hard to master. Well, one requires insane reflexes. The other one requires planning while having insane reflexes.
That's true. I would say no, but I never always necessarily played at my tournament. Well, I take that back. I've played people at anime conventions, but we were not in a tournament. We were just playing the play. So I don't know. Same thing with Tekken, I guess. Really, I went to a Tekken tournament, in Australia, and I did okay. I didn't win the top prize, but I did okay.
You know, of all the fighting game tournaments I've been in, like I've only won one tournament, and that's like a local tournament. A game store was like hosting I think it was Marvel versus Capcom 2.
Yeah.
And I played as Cable. I remember that. Yes, I was that guy with Cable. Look, I was a teenager. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna make my life easier. I'm gonna play as Cable, and I'm gonna spam Viper Beam until I win.
That's a Cable player. Yep. Watch my play Marvel Guest come. I used to play a lot of Gambit, Mega Man, and Venom, and then I always wanted to get good with Mero because she's like no one just ever plays with her, and like I just feel like
that's like the best thing I love about the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 is that they'll get the most obscure Marvel or Capcom characters and they'll put them in there.
Yeah, it is true. There was also Psylocke. I totally forgot she was also really cool. She's never come back, but I wanted
like Infinite really dropped the ball with that. It's just okay. It's literally Disney's like, okay, you're going to support to the MCU, and we're gonna make them look amazing. While we're gonna make the Capcom characters look like trash.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm
was
just like,
weird. Yeah, because there was like,
huh?
I said it was weird because there was like no X-Men characters. So it was like no Wolverine, no Magneto, no Sentinel. I was like there's like hardcore Wolverine, no X-23. She was newer, obviously, for as I have them.
Yeah.
Marvel, Ultimate Marvel's Capcom and Marvel's Capcom 3. That's a really good game too. People were so hyped when 3 came, but Infinite, I don't know. And then a lot of people think like, okay, we're gonna get another Marvel's Capcom, but I don't know where they're at.
I've been hearing that for years that there's gonna be a Marvel versus Capcom 4, and I'm actually cautiously excited for it. I'm like really cautiously excited for it if it's true.
One that I feel is really underrated that is very similar to Marvel Cap because the same people that made Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is Power Rangers: The Battle of the Grid, and they also have it for Switch.
I've heard that game was really good. I just never played it. It's just
everyone also speculates because in the mobile game of Power Rangers and there's a Power Rangers comic, Chun-Li becomes a Power Ranger, and then Ryu is also in a crossover with the Power Rangers comic book. So that would be like cool if they can get Chun-Li. And
I think they did already in the mobile version.
Yes, they did, but like they get it for the Battle of the Grid because Chun-Li is not Ryu, or even go even more weirder. You could get like Master Splinter because they had a crossover with the Teenage Mutant Turtles and Power Rangers, and Master Splinter became a Green Ranger. So put some Turtles. Turtles are Injustice. I didn't play Injustice. I did play Mortal Kombat, and I have Mortal Kombat X as well, but as well as DBZ Fighters. I'm showcase.
Okay. Look, here's my So Dragon Ball FighterZ is an amazing game. I'm not gonna lie though, the viewerships or with their online tournaments is flat out amazing. But
keep talking.
My opinion on Dragon Ball FighterZ is simply that too many Gokus, too many Vegetas, too many like it's just damn, enough's enough. Show me another character. Like, you don't have to dig from the bottom. You're not at the bottom of the barrel. Just dig a little deeper.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Like as far as like, it's like, and I know they do have like other characters like Hit and Counter, but there's a lot of Vegetas and there's a lot of Goku. So it's like, I don't know what more you can do.
It's like every season. I think it's like every season. It's like obligatory that they release a new Goku.
Yes.
And I'm just like, man, just stop. Or a new Vegeta. And you're just like, man, just stop. Please. Give these two characters a break.
Yes. Definitely is true. But I guess it's kind of like my piece as far as like video games. I want to like showcase my love for it and talk a little about it as far as with upcoming trailers. I guess I could take more of the floor because I don't know what else to say about them What else you want to talk about?
Oh no, I'm pretty much done here. You know that I love my fighting games too.
I think we've shown it too
Um,
on far. Like I can't. I'm driving nuts because like I can't find my copies of Guilty Gear, but I'll find them like afterwards or something. But I am a Guilty Gear
no,
fan,
that's fine then.
and
Oh no, that's okay. I play them. I play Guilty Gear every now and then on Steam as well.
I used to play
I haven't, huh?
So I used to play the fuck out of Guilty Gear. Like it was my game. Like when it came back for PS4. But and then like the new one's coming out, so everyone stops playing it. I was like, I wish more people would play Kina Fighters 14, which I showed, but I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of like I guess like inside of our minds as far as what we think of fighting games. I guess we can end it like there's nothing else you want to say about fighting games.
No, I don't have anything else to say. Alrighty, guys. We're heading out. Be sure you like and subscribe myself and my buddy Dorion here.
Yeah.
I'll have a link to his YouTube account as soon as I get some time and stuff. Alrighty, man. Peace out. See y'all later.
We'll go on to peace.